king, I am not a god, I am Humpty!
Hello Tano! In today's video I will show you how to build your Knell Prime to take down level 9100 and steel path enemies in Warframe. But first thing first, let me show you the performance of this weapon at level cap. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go! That's some power, baby! As always, Tano, before I build my weapons and my warframes, I rely on my method called DVS. D for damage, V for viral, S for stripping. Follow my method, and I'm sure you'll start making your own powerful builds. If you don't like my methods in today's video, how I proc viral, armor strip enemies, it's okay. Shake the sheet, it will help you maneuver around them to find your own style. Now, why we take things to level cap, Tano? Because enemy scales on their EHP, means their health, their shield, and their overguard. Very important. We'll talk about that later on. And also when we take warframes, because also their damage output scales. Now, we take Revenant because he's a tank, so we don't boost the weapon in any way. So if you take this build with any warframe that doesn't boost damage, you will receive the same results. If it boosts damage, you will receive even better results. And as always, no Ravens included in my builds. Let me show you. When it comes to the Warframe, it's pretty simple, as I will be using full method of DVS, means I need to strip enemies armor. I'll be running on my method of Corrosive, 2 Emerald Darkon Shards to push the stacks of Corrosive from 10 to 14 to armor strip enemies, and I'll be using Tempest Barrage from Hydroid. Other Violet Darkon Shards, they're for melee, that doesn't matter. When it comes to Revenant, I've tested with and without. You can use Worthy Camaraderie or not, but it's nice. Arcane Precision to increase the damage by 300% for 18 seconds on secondary weapon, really good. And the viral is coming from Viral Tempest, is the augment for the for the Tempest Barrage helmet ability. Now when it comes to Knell, it's really simple. It has a unique trait. Headshot grant 100% ammo efficiency for 2 seconds, in the meaning of you'll be shooting without ammo, as well as 0.5 critical damage and 20% statue chance, and stacks up to 3 times. Doubled magazine size when wielded by Harrow. Although the tunnels would love to go with this with Harrow, it's gonna be really powerful and crazy. Creeping Bullseye for critical chance, negative fire rate, Magnetic Might for magnetic and critical damage. Now, why we use Magnetic Might? Now, magnetic in this game is really good, especially in the end game, as for example, Thrax Centurions in Void Cascade, their overguard scales so big, it's so crazy. You feel like you really need either a very powerful meta weapon or magnetic to take that shit down. Otherwise, you're gonna use the fortifier. As you can see right here, the magnetic increase damage to overguard and shields by 325%, like viral but for shields. Primed Expel Orkin, which is multiplicative damage to the faction you're fighting. You want to replace this every time you're fighting a different faction. Now, a lot of Tano doesn't like to go for that, so the replacement is easy. Either you go Ornate Strike, or you can go for example, let's say the Lethal Turret. Where is it? Lethal Turret. But the problem with Lethal Turret, it gives you multi-shot. We're using equity. The user is gonna go benefit from fire rate, so it's better just that you go for pure fire rate, like for example Gun Slinger. Easy as that. Otherwise, you can play around with all these mods and see what fits you best. Now, Pistol Equity. Increase your damage on weak point hits, and increase your critical chance by 350% on weak point hits, but multi-shot cannot be modified. Galvanized Crosshair, this is the one I was looking for earlier as a replacement for Oracle. On headshot, 120% critical chance when aiming for 12 seconds. On headshot kill, 40% critical chance when aiming for 12 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. Ice Storm for magazine capacity and cold, but of course you can just go for cold, deep freeze, or just straight cold, frost, and whatever, just doesn't matter. Primed that target's cracker for critical damage, primed heat charge for heat, so we can create blast. Now why blast? Now the weapon magazine is not that great, and it doesn't clear maps, so I thought about going for blast as it deals huge like chunk of damage. So the blast get blasty, as blast deals 30% of base damage after 1.5 seconds as an explosion at 10 stacks. We're not gonna make 10 stacks, or on death. That's what's going to happen. Enemies will die, and then the damage will be done simultaneously to enemies within 5 meters. Think of it as a little AoE. When we combine it with Nautilus Cordon or a Vortex ability or Pull ability or something, it become really nice and work as charm. Primed Steady Hand, the weapon have a nasty recoil, so go for this or the normal version, really good. Secondary Deadhead for damage, headshot multiplier, and negative weapon recoil. Now Tano, let me be clear with you. Every single primed mode here, it has its normal version. So you just look for the same mode as a normal version, and the galvanized one, same thing. Primed modes, you get them from Barukitir, on some of them in Login Reward, but 99% of them from Barukitir. He comes every 2 weeks. You need ducats, you need to trash your private parts. The galvanized mods, you get them from Arbiters of Hexes. Go to any relay, first NPC to the left. Easy as that. And anything here is changeable. You can change the build on your likings, you can change the elements and however you want. Now, when it comes to the companion, Nautilus Prime, this is the build for it. It's very known. I show it in every single video. I'm just gonna talk to you about Tenacious Bond. 120% critical damage if you have 50% plus in your sentient weapon. Verglas Prime is the best weapon for a sentient, but you need a Riven for it for critical chance. You don't need critical chance in this Verglas if you don't have it, so you want to use Primed Razor Rifle or Verklock and you'll be good to go. Let me show you now the performance of this weapon against level 230 heavy corrupted gunners on Simulacrum. We're just gonna go without DVS. We're just gonna go like this. I mean, the Nautilus will help us a little bit with some viral, but it doesn't matter. So that's 2 million. Now we landed headshot. That means now we're gonna spam this, and you saw blast how it destroyed them exactly. So now the problem with Tempest Barrage, it will give you hard time landing headshots. So that's the downside of it, but there is a lot of ways like you can proc. But look at that, 20 million. When blast is in, that's it. They don't stand a chance. Right, let's go. Boom, boom. And now, when we want to put magnetic in play, so we summon, for example, Thrax Centurions, like so, and then we just proc Tempest Barrage, and check this out, guys. Now the magnetic will play the role. Look at that. Would you look at that? Isn't that beautiful? And that's how it's gonna be working everywhere. And in case you're wondering about my amp is 177 Replic Prism Profile Scaffold Certus Brace. My arcanes is Eternal Onslaught and Eternal Eradicate. Now if we go for the Eximus Heavy Corrupted Gunners, it's that. We're gonna work viral and almost armor. That. Boom. 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 And then we keep going. As you can see, we destroyed all that area because of blast as 24 million blast damage, which is really crazy. Now I would say one thing for sure: this Knell Prime is not for everybody. I would give this weapon 6 out of 10, and I believe maybe one day it deserves maybe an Incarnum form, because this weapon is perfect made to become Incarnum, and I wouldn't be surprised if the one day make it an Incarnum form. It's not for everybody. This weapon requires attention in the game, requires that you land headshots, requires a lot of enemies, and it's very powerful, and it will take it to level cap without any problem. This weapon problem is not on damage output, but on actual aiming to benefit from the perk. Think of it as this weapon made for aimers. Now, in the end, Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, let me know in the comments below what you think about Knell. And remember, Thanos, I did this video based on your request. I don't care about like how many people are gonna watch this video. I hope millions, but it doesn't matter. What matters is delivering content that requested by my community, not just following meta. Thank you so much for Hall of members, special VIPs, and this video donator and Hall of donations, and everyone in my community. But I'll see you guys next time.